Good morning friends. Today is 1st September 2017. Let's have a discussion on the important news of the day. IRNSS 1H, that was Indian Regional Navigation System satellite 1H, could not be completed successfully. The mission could not be completed successfully because the satellite could not be separated from the heat shield, and this was the reason that mission could not be successful. The load of the weight of the satellite was 1425 kg, which was being carried by Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C-39, which was on its 41st mission. It was launched from Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, and everything was going smoothly and as per the planned mission, but only the last stage in which the satellite was to be separated and drop off could not do so, which resulted in the satellite separation occurring within the heat shield, and the mission could not be completed successfully. ISRO has promised to get this satellite launched at the earliest, and if this gets successfully launched, India would be in a position to have its own constellation of navigation and Earth observation constellation of the satellite. So it is very important mission for India. Second important news is related to GDP. First quarter of 2017-18 has reported only 5.7% of GDP growth as against the last year's first quarter of 7.9% GDP growth, which is a cause of concern. And CSO, a statistical organization of the country which prepares the data, has informed that it is due to the sluggish growth in the manufacturing sector. Basically, it had two. It was on account of two factors. First, it was partially it was due to demonetization, and second, it was due to the GST. And the companies were not sure about the regime of GSTs, and they were basically selling the existing stock. So it is called destocking. It is called destocking. So they all were busy in destocking, and they all were busy in destocking. That is mentioned here in this point. This destocking, and manufacturing growth was sluggish, 1.2%, whereas it was 10.7% in the same quarter of the preceding year. So the decline was registered, and India also lost the tag of fastest growing economy in the last quarter because China grew at the rate of 6.9%, whereas India grew only at 6.1%. So this is a cause of concern for India, and GST had its own impact. There was a period of uncertainty when the business and this manufacturing industries started destocking. Rather than producing less, rather than producing more, they produced less, and they try to sell their existing stock, clear their stock before the GST. That was the reason GST was launched on 1st July 2017. So till that, April, May, June, this was the first quarter. Whatever was available was sold. Now next is India and China jointly submit a proposal to WHO calling for elimination of amber box. See, this is uh, this is very you can say this is very crucial to understand what is amber box, blue box, and green box, and things are very convoluted. It's not very clear. See, all the terms of uh, whatever you take any international organization, these big developed countries design and define the agreements in such a way which benefits their own people and their own set of situation. Okay, so now you can see that there is aggregate measure of support, or you can say amber box, but there are 34 countries which have just given their commitment to reduce their subsidies, whereas all others are falling under the category, uh, you can say that this de minimis. So all are following amber, but these developed countries are above de minimis, which do not fall under the category of 5% to 10%, whereas the other countries are only, you know, eligible for 5 to 10% of the subsidy given to their farmer. So that's why there is a huge distortion, and developed countries are taking advantage of this clause, whereas it has not been properly designed for developing countries like India and China. So they have registered their protest, they have submitted a proposal that it should be abolished, and then only the reforms could be initiated. Domestic you know domestic subsidies reform could be initiated. So let us have a quick look what is green box, what is blue, and what is amber box. Green is nothing but any action by the government through which the farmer's income is improved, or the life of the farmer is improved, but it does not have any direct impact on the distortion of the prices. That is green box, and it has no limit, it is allowed. Now what is blue box? Blue box is all the actions falling under the amber box, but which have got the impact on the reduction of the quantity. So if the quantity of the production is reduced, okay, so there is no problem, it is also allowed. But other amber box subsidies which is directly focusing on the distortion of the prices, like giving subsidy in the minimum support price, or giving subsidy in fertilizers or something of that sort, which directly impacts the production and also motivates farmer to produce more. It does not create any kind of restriction on the production, so production gets increased, the prices are very less, so it creates hurdle for all of the to have fair competition in the market. So this is amber box. So amber box is allowed, everybody can have a limited subsidies. Every country can have a limited number of subsidies under the amber box, but certain countries are taking the disadvantage, means misrepresenting it, and the clause has been designed in such a way that it is going against developing countries. Okay, so 30, you can say this point, 34 WTO members have committed to reduce their trade, which is distorting domestic support in the amber box, and that is known as aggregate measurement of support, whereas the other members such as India, China have to keep it within 5% of total value of production in case of developed country, and 10% in case of developing country. So this is the problem with India and China. They have registered their protest through this proposal. Next news item is related to National Nutrition Week. National Nutrition Week week would be celebrated from September 1st to 7 every year. This year the theme is optimal infant and young feeding practices. See, up to 6 months after the birth of infant, it is very important for proper health of the infant to have milk from its mother only. Best feeding or the mother of milk is the only or the best uh, nutrient for any newborn. So in order to increase the awareness in this area, this National Nutrition Week is going to be celebrated. And undernutrition in young children under undernutrition in young children continues to be a major public problem in India. And this NFHS 4 National Family Health Survey 4 was conducted in 1516 has shown that there is not much encouraging improvement in the nutritional status, so that is cause of concern. And in this you know week, 1st to 7th September, awareness would be generated. I wanted you to know this because sometime UPSC asks certain questions. Then we have Northeast Venture Fund. Northeast Venture Fund is set up by this organization, Northeastern Development Finance. Northeastern Development Finance Corporation Limited, NEDFI, which is under the Ministry of Development of Northeastern region. And basically it is set up to encourage the entrepreneurship in the region by support to first generation entrepreneurs. So you have to remember this thing, that Northeastern Development Finance Corporation is the agency which is funding Northeastern Venture Fund, and it is focused on new entrepreneurs and first generation entrepreneurs. And this organization, Northeastern Development Finance Corporation, also extends support in terms of hand holding, giving training, giving necessary guidance. So such kind of activities are also undertaken by National Eastern Development Finance Corporation, which is falling under the Ministry of Northeastern Region. Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region. You have to remember word by word, because nowadays UPSC is quite critical about these kind of questions. Okay. Then we have Eastern Economic Forum. What is Eastern Economic Forum, by the way? Eastern Economic Forum is, you have to remember this, Eastern Economic Forum is a forum of Russia, Eastern Russia. Russia extends from east to west, right? So you have to remember that Eastern Economic Forum is from Russia. External Affairs Minister Mrs. Sushma Swaraj will visit Vladivostok on September 5 to 7 to participate in the third Eastern Economic Forum. And Russia has been the traditional partner of India, and in order to strengthen the relationship, our External Affairs Minister is visiting in this forum. Moving on, CSIR has bagged the 9th rank in the global list of scientific government institution. That is important news, but a small news, you can see that. Then we have this nationally determined contribution. See, after Paris Agreement, every country was left to determine its own targets, which were called nationally determined contributions. And India is basically working for developing a roadmap for implementation of NDC, and committees have been constituted, and the action plans have also been set, and the government is busy in implementing this action plan on climate change, and 8 national missions are there which have long-term impact on the climate change. The government also has ambitious target of 175 gigawatt of renewable energy by 22, and country has already achieved 58.3 gigawatt, and government has also distributed LEDs. Government is also planning to have LPG connection under Ujjwala schemes. 2.8 crore LPG connection have been distributed. Government is already forming International Solar Alliance, which was launched by Narendra Modi along with the France. So things are going on. Hopefully this will have far-reaching impact on the climate as well as the India's partnership in the climate control summits. Global warming, summits of global UNFCCC, climate change summit, I mean to say. Now moving on, this is important but small news items. First one is that ex-Home Secretary Rajiv Maharshi would be the new COG of India, Controller and Auditor General of India. Guys, you need to see what are the responsibilities and powers of the COG, who assigns power, who assigns what, means who can give direction to COG, whose report can be, means who can see the reports of COG, how the reports of COG is placed before Lok Sabha CAG, and where can CAG conduct audit. So such kind of things you should see from the polity angle. And what is the eligibility for getting appointed on the position of CAG, what is prohibitions, means whether you can join any other employment after being CAG or not, how CAG can be removed from the power. So such kind of things are there in the polity. Public Accounts Committee is there. The CAG places the report to Public Accounts Committee. Okay, so you should see any development taking place should be seen from such angle only. Then one small news what I came across was Rajaswa Gyan Sangam. Rajaswa Gyan Sangam. So Rajaswa Gyan Sangam is annual conference of CBDT and CBEC, Central Board of Direct Taxes and Central Board of Excise and Customs. Okay, these two boards, CBDT is for direct taxes, CBEC for indirect taxes. So that should be seen properly. Then recently this MOU was conducted between Railway and Swiss Confederation. So we know that Swiss president was on 3-day visit to India, and Switzerland is also the chair of Nuclear Supplier Group. Hence the visit assumes quite importance, and they have also concluded this memorandum of understanding with our Indian Railway, so the visit can be said to be successful. So that was all for the day. Hope you enjoyed the session. I would welcome your suggestion, and I am open to make any improvement in my video, but I would request you to go through it. Just write me positively for any improvement, suggestion, etc. Thanks a lot for watching this video.